Last week was a big week in the LLM world as 2 trillion plus parameter models drop out of China. Let's check this out, but an interesting comment first. I did a video recently about how LLM reasoning is starting to mirror human reasoning as the models get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out with these two models in a little bit. So again, China drops 2 trillion parameter beasts, the QN3 Max and the moonshot Kimi K2. Alibaba's QN3 Max preview is live, beating many top models and benchmarks. Moonshot AI rolls out its updated Kimi series with massive context length and coding improvements. The global AI race has just gotten much more intense, so let's break it all down. First up, the QN3 Max. What do we know about it so far? So this model is part of Alibaba's Tongyi QN family, and it does cross the 1 trillion parameter threshold. So what benchmarks does it lead in? A bunch, it turns out. The Super GPQA, AIME 25, Live Code Bench V6, Arena Hard V2, Live Bench 2024 1125. It outperformed Claude Opus 4, DeepSeek V3.1, and Moonshot's Kimi K2 in these tests. I guess they didn't compare it to US models. It supports a huge context window reputed to be about 256,000 tokens for input. So this model allows huge input. QN3 Max is available via QN Chat, Alibaba Cloud API, OpenRouter, and any coder. This is not open source for now. Access is via a paid API or a partner platform. So pricing is tiered heavily depending on how much of that input or context window you're using. The more you use, the more you pay. So this is a paid model, trillion parameter plus, and beats all previous models on a bunch of benchmarks, at least Chinese models. Next up, we have Moonshot AI's Kimi K2 update. So Moonshot AI is pretty darn new, founded in 2023, based in Beijing, and has been pushing very long context windows. Like QN3 Max, Kimi K2 is a trillion parameter model. So it uses a mixture of experts architecture, which means that during inference, it has about 32 billion of its trillion parameters active. So how about the context window in Kimi K2? 128,000 in the version released, with a later variant reportedly up to 256,000 token input, which makes it very similar to the QN3 Max. It was trained on about 15.5 trillion tokens using, again, the mixture of experts architecture, which means separate units for each type of processing. And it has many experts, at least 384. With dynamic routing for efficiency. This model is strong in coding, reasoning, and general purpose tasks. It performs well versus other top models. It is open source, at least some variants, under a modified MIT license. So what does this all mean relative to benchmarks, context, and impact? Scaling is back. After a period where many labs focused on more efficient, smaller models, we're seeing a return to massive parameter and context scaling. This is particularly relevant to reasoning. See my prior video. So QN3 Max and Kimi K2 are pushing the envelope in size. Also, bigger context windows matter. It allows long prompts, whole code bases for coding, complete documents, research papers, Multi-step reasoning is now becoming practical. So there's performance versus cost trade-offs. There's a high cost for using huge context. So you're loading a bunch of stuff as input, you're going to pay a lot. The infrastructure required compute, latency, and stability are still remaining concerns with these massive models. And then, as you noticed, open source versus closed source access. Moonshot remains relatively open, whereas Qwen is closed for now. This impacts who can use and build upon these tools. So what does this mean for their global positioning? China's AI ecosystem is aggressively pushing ahead, and of course, that's their culture. These releases raise the bar for global competition. It will pressure US labs to match in scale and performance. So for enterprises, big companies, and developers, new choices for models with vast context and strength in coding. But budget and ecosystem support will be limiting factors. These models also intensify the benchmark arms race now underway. Models are evaluated not just on size, but utility and adaptability. So what's next? The Qwen3 Max could get open sourced later or come out with variants that are made public. Moonshot is likely to grow its K2 family and add vision, reasoning, and tool use features. So what does this all mean? It means that the boundaries of model development in AI continue to be pushed, likely bringing us closer and closer to AGI in terms of reasoning capability. So what do you think? Which of these two monsters do you think leads the new frontier? Qwen3 Max or Kimi K2? Or is it really about who uses them in a smarter way? Drop a comment, smash like if you want a deep dive, and subscribe because we're really at the beginning still of AI model development. So thanks so much for tuning in. Please support us on Patreon. We really need that financial support. As you guys probably know, there's been new algorithm changes brought on by YouTube that are negatively impacting creators. So we need your help more than ever. Please help us on Patreon. Thanks so much. See you next time. Take care. Bye.